Okay, I'm tired, enough is enough. So what do I mean by that? Well, I've been working on a project now all day. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, evening, whatever you call that, and I've been working on this project since about 8 o'clock. I did have a break for lunch, but apart from that, it's been pretty much solid all the way through. Oh, and I took the dog. So I'll quickly show you the project. It is this. So I'm working on the low poly scene and different lighting. So I've done a tutorial about lighting techniques and I'll put a card in the corner, and this was the model that I was using. But I'm just not happy with it. There's something about the shot construction, the lighting, and the model itself which just isn't working for me. And that got me thinking, when is it time to stop? When is it time to think, right, that's enough, I need to move on to the next project? So the piece I've been working on is for the Low Poly Challenge. You can find out more about that on the Discord server, so get along to there and join in the challenge. I'm thinking maybe I'll put the winner on the wall behind me. Perhaps that could be an incentive. Not that it's amazing to appear on my blog or anything, but maybe we've got to have some sort of prize. So when on a project is it time to draw a line? Now, I imagine as a creative, a lot of you watching this, or the few people that do watch this, will be perfectionists. It kind of comes with the creative character set. And being a perfectionist means you want to work really hard to get those perfect results. And you want to be a step above the rest. And you're probably quite competitive in some ways, which isn't such a bad thing. And as a perfectionist, you strive for greatness. You're trying to reach the top. So you're a very hard worker. And that's one good thing about being a perfectionist. Usually you work hard, you're meticulous, and you iron out the tiny details until you get that end result that's great. But the bad things about being a perfectionist is you can get pretty exhausted, which can lead to the issue of burnout, which I might talk about in another blog, I think. And it can get a bit stressful when you're really trying to reach your goal. And it's frustrating when you don't. And actually I've got to this point where I'm thinking, do I need to stop working on this? Am I going overboard on this project, which may never go that much further because of its other limitations? Or do I need to start again, or just move on to another project and come back to this one later? Now you might be thinking, well, spending too much time on a project, you can't do that. I think you possibly can. And I think it's worth asking yourself this question. Is it really worth it? Now perhaps you've got a job and you really want to impress the client. That's fair enough to really strive as hard as you can with that. But usually you've got deadlines anyway, which kind of force you to stop. But when it's your own piece for your portfolio or something like that, sometimes it's difficult to know when to stop. And you're desperate to make the portfolio the most amazing thing anybody's seen, so you will get hired. But still ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Because there is a point in projects where you're spending too much time on them and it's not really developing you as an artist. So another question you need to ask yourself, if it's a personal piece, is it helping me to improve? And it may be the model itself that you're working on just isn't going to achieve that perfectionist status that you want. And it may be that moving on to the next one, the process from start to finish will be much smoother because you've had that experience from the previous project. It's important to remember in this process that practicing and failing is really vital. Both are just as important as each other, but there's good types of practice. And when you're meticulously working on a detail, changing colours just a minute amount, that isn't good practice and it's not really helping you to develop. So sometimes knowing when to quit a job is just as important as putting that extra time in. However, don't quit too early because that can be demoralizing. If you're constantly starting projects, then pushing them to one side, starting the next one, pushing it to one side, that probably won't help you either. As with most things in life, it's about finding that balance. And I think I kind of lost that today. And I probably should have quit a bit earlier. And sometimes a good tactic is to just leave it for a while, do another project and come back to it. So what are the tactics to know if you're spending too much time on a project, and other tactics to help you improve quicker? Well, first of all, look at your reference images. And that's a really common mistake. I often make it. I get so wound up in an image that I forget to look at my reference images often, because they're such an important guide to know whether you're moving in the right directions. Also, ask other people. That will force you to take a break whilst other people are looking at it, and a fresh pair of eyes can be absolutely vital. And of course, don't be afraid of the feedback. So with that said, I'll probably post my image on the Discord server of how far I've got, and you can have a look and help me out and tell me what you think I need to add, take away, or change. If you haven't already, get along to the Discord server, join in the challenge, start making a low poly landscape. Someone was asking, what is low poly? What I mean by that is the low poly style. It's a kind of art style. If you look up low poly art, you'll find loads of amazing images and you'll know exactly what I mean. And I should be posting my tutorial about lighting tomorrow. So as always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing the results of your low poly scenes.